Manchester's always good to come home to, I think, because it's not my hometown. I'm from Newton-le-Willows, but it's the town that I went to as a young lad, sort of to go shopping, go and buy records, all that kind of thing, go out to clubs when I was a bit older. So it's always nice to come to Manchester. And the audience, I've never had a bad audience. They're always warm, I think. And if you are kind of local to the area, then, they give you a nice time, I think. Manchester, to me, to be honest, has got a lot of memories, like I say. One of the strange things is, because I don't live up north anymore, I live in London and I've done for 20 years now. When I first started coming back to Manchester on a kind of more basis to see friends and family rather than to do anything with work or anything, you go out shopping in Manchester, and go for lunch or do whatever. And it's kind of surprising because the city has changed so much, obviously. And you probably realise that more when you do live away, do you know what I mean? So even though I come back and I remember and think, oh, wow, that's still there, and there's an awful lot that isn't still there. And but I don't think anyone could say that Manchester hasn't changed for the better. It's my missus is Danish, and my daughter, who's 16, has lived in London all her life. And when they come up to Manchester, they love it because it's a warm city, I think, Yeah, it is kind of strange that. It's a funny thing, I think, the whole football thing, because obviously I'm a Man United supporter, and it's a funny thing to be in Manchester and be surrounded by thousands of football fans, and basically there's no Man United shirts anywhere. It's a bit weird. Or Man City shirts, obviously. It's a bit weird, yeah. But it's just great for British football in general, obviously United are going to win the Champions League, and Rangers hopefully will win the other one, so yeah. I've really loved it up to now. We've done 2 gigs. We did one in Nottingham, one in Glasgow. And I treat it not as a bit of fun, but I treat it with fun. I try and enjoy it and do a professional job. I want to sing my best and all the rest of it and entertain the people who've paid the money. But I also have a bit of a giggle with it because I think you've got to. Some of these songs are older than my daughter. Do you know what I mean? If I don't approach it with that kind of attitude, then I don't think that'd be right. So I have a bit of fun with it, and the audiences are out for a bit of fun as well. It's a trip down memory lane for me, and it is for them. So I do 8 songs, I think, and all of them I think were top 10s and what have you. So they're all my hits. You know what I mean? There's no track number 4 from album 4. Do you know what I mean? None of that nonsense. And in a way, that's great. I set out for the first gig in Nottingham. I sat at the side of the stage and I watched everybody, and I watched the whole thing, and I loved it. It was just like. It was odd, because a lot of these people I went right around the world doing TVs with, obviously. Do you know what I mean? I'd turn up at some place and, there'd be Paul Young or there'd be whoever doing a TV show, whatever, or you bump into some recording studios, whatever, very rock and roll. But I mean, it's kind of strange that all these years later, we're kind of all doing something again kind of thing. But it's fun, it's what it is, you know what I mean? I'm not fooling myself. This weekend's, on Sunday night, I think it is, in Newcastle. And Monday, I'll go into my local shop and no one will bat an eyelid, and I'll go and do whatever I do normally, and no one's going to start noticing me anymore or whatever, any more than they would do, just because I've done these gigs, do you know what I mean? Which is a little strange, because you go out in front of thousands of people in an arena like this, and the day after, I went to the Lake District for a break on our day off, and coming down from Glasgow, and we just mooched about and did what we did and had a nice day off. And the day after, you've got to get on stage again and be Rick Astley again. It's weird, but it's also fun, so...